So let's talk a little bit about vision. As we think about vision, what we're really trying to address is why are we even doing something? Where are we going? It's so important to us to think in terms of this vision. Now, let's start this thing over again. The power to choose, vision. So what we've looked at to this point has been leading us to this question. Why have a vision? You might think in terms of where I'm going, what I want to do. Maybe I've seen successful businesses or friends that are making headway. And when you start to look at these things, those people, those businesses that are getting ahead, maybe what you want to do is to go ahead and try to mimic or emulate what they've done. But I contend that there's a very important point to why you need to have a vision. Because when you sit down and you start to paint the picture, think about where you want to go. If you were going to take a trip and you were going to go to, say, to Denver or to St. Louis, well, that's kind of a no-brainer because ultimately you're just going to get on the highway and drive X number of miles. It's pretty much straight line. But if you're going to have to make some turns, say, for example, you wanted to go to, let's pick a place like Fort Walton Beach, Florida, from the Overland Park area, you're going to have to take a lot of different roads, different avenues, different ways to get where you need to go. Well, isn't that similarly the same thing as trying to chart out a course, find your way to that destination? And I think very importantly, when you see where your destination is and you work towards it, when you get there, do you drive another 50 miles past that place? Of course not. You would stop and then reassess. Is this where I want to be? And if it is, fantastic. I'm happy for you. But if it's not, then you maybe make some modifications or changes. So what is a vision? It's ultimately just looking and seeing what it is you want, and I would commit to writing it down, taking a photo. Many businesses have prospered by encouraging their people to put a picture of what they want on the refrigerator, whether it's a beachfront property or some kind of special reward. Maybe it's a car. Who knows? It's personal. It's what you want. And so when you see these kinds of things and putting it in a place where you go to quite frequently, that's why companies like, say, Amway and Herbalife, and there's a whole bunch of them, especially if you attend in RC 342 and look on the sidewall where we have a whole bunch of multi-level marketing types of operations, those franchises, they'll give you the inspiration for what you're wanting. It's a destination. Scudamore had a very interesting perspective. His was the painted picture. And when you think about that, obviously he did not take and use artistic talent, but he wrote it down. He put down those things that were so important to him that he believed is what he needed. It also did not have necessarily the how-tos or the whys, but rather, this is what I want. Tony Gaskins has an interesting perspective also. Because going back earlier to when we talked about dreams, it's all up to you. You're making your choices and decisions. And so, as he said, if you don't build your dream, someone will hire you to build theirs. Pretty much to the point. So now, if you're trying to get someplace, I think you have to have focus. Because every day we are bombarded with so many different things trying to steal our attention and time. We only have so much energy. And contrary to popular belief, we really don't multitask. We just do a lot of things. And when we load ourselves up, sometimes things will suffer. Or, as the saying goes, you're going to burn a candle at both ends and you're going to be exhausted pretty quickly. So you have to channel that effort. You have to know where you're going to go. In years past, one of the things that had been explained to me very clearly was the concept of, as you start to go in and make your decisions about where you want to go, work on that and work on that only. Don't be distracted by other things that will steal your time or your treasure. So, time. It's very simple. We all have the same amount. Obviously, we don't know how much time we have other than the fact that we all experience the same amount 24/7. But now the question is, how are you going to use yours? Because it's, again, a choice. You make a decision. You decide to go to school. You decide to open up a business. You decide to take a job. We all have the same amount of time within a calendar day. It's up to us to be able to use it wisely. So now let's go ahead and take a look at our discussion question.